For over a lifetime, K-State football was a non-factor in college football, a program once billed by Sports Illustrated as Futility U. But with the arrival of an unknown assistant from Iowa, the once laughed-at program would become no longer a laughing matter. And in the process, the hiring would transform Fall Saturdays in Manhattan into a call to arms for all Wildcat fans.
It's a tremendous challenge here, and I think this has the opportunity for the greatest turnaround in college football exists here today, and it's not one to be taken lightly.
However, with the program in need of stability, Coach Snyder returned to the sidelines in 2009 and once again set out to establish the program's 16 goals for success. And just as he did the first time around, Snyder built the Wildcat program back up again, claiming back-to-back 10-win seasons in 2011 and 2012, including the 2012 Big 12 Championship and the program's first ever #1 BCS ranking.
Your Kansas State Wildcats are the Big 12 champions.
If you have made it here, thank you so much for wanting to watch this video. For those that have been watching these for the past few weeks, thank you guys for coming back. And obviously for those that have been watching these for the last couple years, thank you as well. We're going to split this up between the Oklahoma offense and the Kansas State defense. I know a lot of you have questions over how Kansas State was able to do offensively what they did in Norman on Saturday. We're going to get right to it. If you guys enjoy this, please consider subscribing, like this video, share it, do all the things that you guys do. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. After week 4 of the 2021 season, we did a video discussing the ghost of Mike Leach and how much he impacted the West Virginia-Oklahoma game, how West Virginia was able to win on the margin in the short passing game and attack some weaknesses in Oklahoma's defense. In 2022, after week 4, we're doing a video that starts out with video from a little tribute to Bill Snyder in Kansas State, because I think he may have waved his wand one final time against Oklahoma. You have some characters that are very similar. A guy named Colin Klein is the offensive coordinator, and they run an offense that had some wrinkles that they haven't shown, because of course that were really dangerous to Oklahoma and how they're built currently and what they're trying to become. Oklahoma's defense was beat in almost every facet of the game. The defensive line at times was able to assert their will. However, it obviously wasn't enough. A year ago, Oklahoma's defensive line was littered with NFL talent. This group is a little bit younger. They do have some experienced guys. You have guys like Jalen Redmond and Jeffrey Johnson, the transfer from Tulane, and Isaiah Coe, who I thought had good games. Obviously, the defensive ends, they rotated and switched a ton of people. Jonah Lualu, the transfer from Hawaii, is starting to put some good tape together. But schematically, how Kansas State was going to beat you offensively with discipline, with numbers, with concepts and schemes, and winning on the margins and getting into 2nd and 6, and how important just the difference between generating a negative play and getting them into 2nd and 10 opposed to 2nd and 6. On the first play of the game, really, I think, tells the whole story of what was coming from Oklahoma. So Kansas State's going to run split zone. You guys saw that a week ago. Here's a little text from Bill Snyder. I don't think it's real. But Kansas State's going to go split zone, and watch David Agwebu. So you can't really see it as well from this view, but you can see it from the coach's view, the wide zone cut. But Kansas State's going to run wide zone. So your run defender's Billy Bowman. So Billy Bowman is going to have the backside gap here if Deuce Vaughn were to cut it on the backside. Talk about that in a second. David Agwebu, so Danny Stutzman is doing his job and is trying to get outside, get into the outside gap. David Aguebu should be run fitting into the open one. So right there, right? That run fit. He comes into that gap. He gets tucked in with the center or in with the right guard. The right guard's able to get to him. But just a little bit of indecisiveness. He comes up into the wrong gap, and Deuce Vaughn's able to get 4 yards. But to my point, and you're going to see throughout the rest of watching Oklahoma's defense in this game, being indecisive, not completely trusting what you're seeing, gets you beat in games like this way more often than it probably should. It doesn't matter what the talent advantage is. There's just a little bit of indecisiveness there. Chooses the wrong gap. Billy Bowman, I mean, if he does bend this backside, not good. And just look at the run fit. Again, if Deuce Vaughn wanted to kick this in and then kick it on the backside, there's no one there. David Aguebu is a little indecisive. And this turns into a 4-yard, 5-yard gain. From snap 1, you have an incompletion on play number 2. Getting to 3rd and 5. And here they come out with their new wrinkle. So you have a math problem here. And that's all Kansas State. That's all this offense is attempting to do. And that's all. This is your test, is if you can accomplish this. So if you split this right down the middle of the field, right? We can do a little bit better. We'll just do that. That's really bad too. Anyways, so you have 1, 2, 3 on this backside. You have the center, guard, left tackle, and a tight end. You also have to account that he can block. The running back can block. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oklahoma on the other side of the center has 1, 2, 3 defenders. And though it may not be as apparent right now, as I stop in throughout this episode or this video, that is going to be important. Here's the other thing that happens in this game, and specifically on this play. They're going to get into a call that's going to take the edge away. So Ethan Downs is stunting around. So they're made a call away from the boundary that ended up costing him too, which happens in this game a lot. Get to the first big passing play. So I'm going to put some puzzle pieces together here. When you listen to the Oklahoma breakdown with Gabe Eichern and Teddy Lehman, and I would, for all of you that are curious about how to really feel, they do a really, really good job. So Brent Venables likes doing this. So Oklahoma's going to drop into cover 3. He's going to drop the boundary corner. Justin Broyles is going to move over into deep, and he's going to move this direction. So what happens, and just listening to Teddy talk about what this call is, and this is pretty basic, like he's not wrong, day one stuff, at least from what I understand, is that just looking at the people that are over here, Deuce Vaughn's on this side. So you do have to account for a flat player here. And this was one of those situations a year ago where in this game, West Virginia was all they were doing was just doing this, and going a rail route on the backside to get that traffic, right? Still having issues facing this a little bit this year. They're going to run just verts. They're just running all verticals. Oh, wow. Not a curl. Anyways. See, Martinez is looking to the right to get that safety in the middle of the field. So Woody Washington's the one that's dropping into cover 3, and they're coming to the middle. So Deuce Vaughn is coming up into the middle, right? So I would understand, looking at everything, that maybe, hey, you have to account for him leaking out into the boundary. Danny Stutzman, according to Layman, should be riding this vertical up. There's no one there. And there's an explosive. Coverage bust number 1. Oklahoma's defensive line made some plays in this game. Like this from Jeffrey Johnson. Danny Stutzman's blitzing. He does a really good job being physical at the point of attack. Look at the job he does on 54. And he helps make this play. So there were plays made in this game. Just a lot of plays that warrant. And just like this next play as well with Ethan Downs. They get into an odd front, which they did a really good job hiding this, where he's in a 0, he's in a 4, he's in a 4 technique. They slant to the right, they penetrate the gap, you get Ethan Downs on a tight end, and that's a matchup you'll always like. You can get into third down, right? And you should feel pretty good about that. And then that happens. And here's one of the first touchdowns in the red zone on the first drive. Something you're going to see from Kansas. Iowa State will run this. Baylor will run this. Not nearly as much as they did a year ago. It's just split zone read, right? He's coming out. They're going to leave this defensive end. Everybody else is blocking down, blocking down, blocking down, blocking down, blocking down. And he's going to kick out. They're going to leave this defensive end to make a decision. You have a lead blocker on at least one of the players that is accounting for the quarterback. If there is, very first play of the second drive. Again, you've got a math problem. See if I can make this straight. There we go. Right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so whenever you have a quarterback that can run and you've got to account for him, now the end's taking it out of the picture. Now Kansas State's got a bigger advantage in the run game. So you can get a hat on a hat on a hat, and you can get in a good run on first down. And they've already won this set of downs. Second and all they got to do is get 4 or 5. And they get into 2nd and 3. You may not see what happens on this, but the Kansas State tight end makes a good move on Justin Broyles. You can see him getting into his break right now. And Adrian Martinez finds him. Then they try to strip him. Here's a wrinkle that Kansas State had for Oklahoma in this one. Nasty stuff. And I don't even know what it is. It's obviously gap scheme. But they're going to block down. Block down. Leave this guy free. Block down. He's going to come and kick him out. I don't know. Trap? Danny Stutzman misses a tackle here, but I really don't. It's pretty crazy that this play's not made. But with Deuce Vaughn, there's always craziness that can happen. Another coverage bust here on the second drive already, number 2. Coverage bust number 2 on the second drive. It's 2:45 in the morning because I like you guys. But we're going to knock this out. So you have the line, you have David Agüebu's working to the right. And you see how he bites on Deuce Vaughn. Well, Malik Knowles, I believe, is running a post route. He's working an over. But you have Justin Broyles, and you can see him at this part of the screen. You see he's looking to the right now. And so David Agüebu is also working right. So someone's got to be working left. I know I don't know these calls. I don't know how to teach this stuff. Just going to try to simplify things here and say that it's probably not good if you have two guys working right, leaving an underneath route like that open. And then you get into the red zone, and they just do what they normally do. Then you get into the red zone, and they do what they normally do. QB run game, defended pretty good. Again, they did at times. This is a really good play from David Agüebu, by the way. Do want to highlight when they are good plays, and I think it's a good play as well from Justin Broyles. I don't even think this is bad coverage. Malik Knowles is a pretty physical receiver. They timed this blitz well. Everybody's coming. You get a one-on-one. Not bad coverage. Is what it is. Kansas State's going to start the second drive with a little power read. And, a lot of the thought in the week is like, Oklahoma is going to have to blitz them a lot, right? Blitz them, defend the run, do whatever you can to defend the run. The problem when this happens is then you get left on an island. And thank God for Deshaun White here. This run could have been really, really bad. You get David Agüebu left on an island here. He's working outside. He's either got to help in the run fit outside, or he's also got to help in the middle because they've got a guy coming for him. So yes, you can blitz. You just can't be reckless. And although that this run didn't take off for a big run, it's now 2nd and 6. It's still crazy that Adrian Martinez about made this play. Jaden Davis is free coming right at him. He gets out of it. Points the guy to go downfield. And makes that throw that gets dropped. Good coverage by Deshaun White. Really good game. Did get juked out at the end, but had a good game. I do want to highlight good plays whenever I can. Kansas State's going to run split zone here. And Oklahoma does a really good job in the way that they defend it, specifically at the linebacker position. Just this stuff wasn't happening nearly as much as it needed to. And Jonah Luwalu does a good job here as well. Deshaun White coming in to get in the run fit. Everything good there. Again, the 2nd and 9 immediately after. Let's just do some math. Let's draw that line right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got a problem. So whenever they pull their guys like this, 2nd and 9 is now 3rd and 3. Advantage Kansas State. And quite frankly, this is a pretty good play from David Agüebu. He doesn't make that play. Adrian Martinez has one guy to miss on Justin Broyles, and that is that. But now you get into 3rd and 3. And quite frankly, Adrian Martinez could have done better here. Deshaun White's right here. He's already coming in, and Martinez probably should have thrown the bubble. If he throws the bubble, this might have been a touchdown. 2 blockers, 1 guy running. I get a first down anyways. I didn't realize Malik Knowles threw DJ Graham. And then what's so funny is on the very next play, Adrian Martinez, probably because of where Deshaun White's lined up at, probably shouldn't have thrown the bubble. It works out because they missed some tackles at the top of the screen here. But, like, I don't know if Oklahoma knows what they're in coverage-wise. He looks like he's in man. Billy Bowman's surely playing the slot receiver like he's in man. He's manning him up. Justin Broyles is manning up this tight end. Coverage are they in? You have Kenny Walker on this backside. Looks like he's playing zone. And the worst part about this is they're going to run all these guys over, right? This direction, this direction. They're going to bring him underneath. And you know what Adrian Martinez does? He misses the backside post that's wide open for a touchdown on DJ Graham. And it's not like there's a ton of pressure, but he does make do with what he has. And the point of me asking what coverage are they in is that if they're in zone, which David Agwebu is playing like they're in zone, then there's nobody on this side of the field for Danny Stutzman if they're going to carry this tight end. So why are you carrying with the tight end? Things that make you think. And you can see it from this view, that backside post, he just misses it. So he's zoned, he's locked in on throwing this guy, his first and second read. And so he doesn't come back to this third one where you see his free feet and he comes open in this window and Martinez missed it. He was late, but he picks up yardage anyways. I don't know. They go for a 4th and 1. Let's get to the touchdown run. Not good. So the guard is going to pull. Guard is going to pull. And if you need to follow your guards, they take you where the play is going. If that was their key. Danny Stutzman comes up to the line of scrimmage. So there's no other help here. Justin Broyles misses. But Danny Stutzman should have been scraping over the top to help clean this up. He gets stuck in the wash. Adrian Martinez scores a touchdown. It didn't matter what defense Oklahoma got in. You see they adjusted here, 2:47 left in the game. I'm assuming they wanted to get more guys in coverage. Kansas State with Deuce Vaughn. They know everybody's keying on him. And so if one of these safeties in their 3-high look, again, what we discussed, if one of these safeties is committed to the run or committed being a box player, it's going to make things tough if teams play you differently. So all Oklahoma's going to do, they're going to bring the corner. They're playing in deep zone coverage. So he's dropping back. He's rotating middle. He should be dropping back this direction. He's committed to the run. And the problem is when you're dropping this guy into the deep middle and you got him committed to the run, if they play action it, Billy Bowman's in a tough position. Missed tackle. Against Nebraska, Oklahoma was getting in their 3-man front. They were stunting. They were twisting. They were doing all sorts of different things. So this time they're going to run blitz on this 1st and 10 this direction, and they're going to peek him behind. The problem is the purple boogeyman, what he's going to do is he's going to pull this guard around, and they're going to wash all these guys down. Wash them down, kick around. You get a hat on a hat. He's got to be committed to the run game in the back end. This safety's got to be committed to the run. It still doesn't matter because Kansas State has the numbers advantage. You've got 7 blockers, 5, 6, 7 run defenders right here. And look at where they're at. So when I was talking about this with Nebraska, these guys have to be committed. If you're going to do it, you have to do it. You have to be aggressive. And when they're not, you get a hat on a hat. You get your corner juked out, and that's a first down game. I was mentioning this a lot in the past 3 weeks. There is too much space. So they're going to drop into cover 3 here, right? So you see how these corners have their hips open to the field. They're dropping into deep coverage. It's 1:37 left in the game. Kansas State's definitely going to look at them to get beat deep. So if they're going to even throw these guys over the middle very quickly and Oklahoma's going to blitz, there's 3 receivers open on this play. 3. And they just find the one that's underneath on this right side because they're in off coverage. This is pretty good coverage from Woody Washington. Pretty good coverage. If he's more in man, if he's in man responsibility and not off man, dropping into cover 3 and running vertical, probably could defend him better there. Again, you're Oklahoma. This is part of the people problems. There's part of the problem people had a year ago with this. 2nd and 10, you're in your 3-man front. You don't need to confuse Adrian Martinez. He will confuse himself, right? So they're going to get into this blitz look, and they're going to bluff it. So it looks like they're bringing, 7, maybe 8. And they drop. And Deuce Vaughn gets 20. So in 2nd and 10, 1:27 left in the game, it looks like they're going to blitz. They drop off of it, these guys into coverage. So now there's less defenders committed to the run. And look at where Kansas State is blocking their guys. All right, so you're going to be in your 3-man front. So if you're going to blitz, and they're going to pull this guard, and if you're going to blitz recklessly at times, and they pull this guard, your numbers don't work in your favor. So you get here, Key Lawrence comes in and the run fit perfect. Missed tackle. Billy Bowman. Initiate. This is a run. You have no responsibility. This is a run. Where you at, Billy? Where you at, Billy? You could have been up in the run fit by now. So 1st and 10, 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 10. And they hold them to a field goal here. All is good. Get to half. No big deal. You've got no problems, right? Really good job here holding them to a field goal. Credit to Oklahoma on that. So Jalen Redmond does a fantastic job here. Oklahoma's going to stunt in the middle. So Jeffrey Johnson's going to scrape across, or Redmond's going to go across Johnson's face. They do a good job penetrating. Great strength here to get him off and to get this pass deflection. The problem, they're going to play zone coverage. And they kind of tip it here. Look at the alignment of the safeties. See how Billy Bowman's playing more in the middle? Look at this corner. Look at Jaden Davis. So Billy Bowman's carrying vertical or anything on number 2. Jaden Davis is playing an off coverage, so he's probably rotating back to the middle and taking anything vertical from his direction. Woody Washington looks like he's in man. He's probably playing zone. These guys are playing zone coverage, right? So this ball that's thrown, I don't know if they show a replay, but he is open, wide open, right behind this coverage, wide open. And they may be dropping into cover 2. But Woody Washington playing zone, zone, zone. Kansas State's skill guys are not good enough to deal with Oklahoma's athleticism. They just were not. We've talked about 2 wrinkles Kansas State had for Oklahoma. Here was number 3. And I'm sure that they've run something similar to this. But just to start talking about some of the problems here. Well, first, Oklahoma's not lined up. If Adrian Martinez wanted to snap this and throw a bubble, you got one-on-one blocking. Wouldn't be good. But it's important to how Oklahoma was attempting to line up to this. Because they're going to get into this again. This is an incredible play from Deshaun White, who, again, had a good game. Obviously got beat by that Deuce Vaughn run. This is really, really good. And you get pressure on the quarterback. Like I said, there were issues with the defensive line. Sure. I'm not worried about it. what I said earlier in the game, that the first play was going to tell us everything we need to know. You guys notice it. You may have seen it. They're going to run split zone. David Agwebu is following the wing. And there is a 10-yard plus run. I don't know. I don't know. Ran himself completely out of his run fit. Not good. Kansas State does a really good job with this play, where they're going to motion this guy in, and he's going to go to the flat. Take him to the top. Take him to the middle. Problem on this one. Watch the corner and watch Billy Bowman. They're going with these guys. There's no one in this flat. No one's responsible. Who's going to be there? 2nd and 10. And now it's 3rd and 3. And when you blitz recklessly, you get beat. The guard they're running split zone, right? That's Danny Stutzman's hole or run gap, but he's blitzing. And that's a first down. So Oklahoma's going to blitz the corner here. So it makes it really tough on the safety or on whoever's coming to fill for him. Malik Knowles runs a good route. You pick up the blitz. It seemed like in this game, everything Oklahoma called wasn't working. So people were asking, where's their 3-man front? Where's the 3-man front? It worked against Nebraska. All right. Just run simple inside zone. Technically, this is called duo or uno. One of the two. He's blocking over and then up, and he's blocking there as well. They're leaving this middle linebacker unblocked, and the running back gets to make the choice, whichever hole he wants to fill. By the way, you've got 1 man in the box. Here's your extra run defender. You've got 6. If you want to include the running back. Danny Stutzman chooses the right side. There's no one there. Justin Broyles missed tackle. 10-plus yard run. This is probably why you didn't see a ton from Reggie Grimes. This is a tight end. And that's where Reggie Grimes is at. This is pretty well defended, though. Jeffrey Johnson had a good game. Again, I don't have any issues with the defensive line. I think they're going to be fine. So for the first 3 weeks, I'm complaining about there's too much space. See how that corners open their hips and they're dropping? Well, they're dropping into cover 3. What's the easiest way to beat that? Underneath. So whenever he's running a stop route, I'm just going to tell you on the coach's cut, he's open, and one of these 3 gets open as well. 1st and 15. He's not throwing it for. Adrian Martinez is not throwing it for. I promise you. Oklahoma's in their 3-man front. And this is what Kansas State expected. Here comes a blitzer. This is just Deuce Vaughn being Deuce Vaughn. Like, I don't feel bad. I don't even know if this is a bad thing from Deshaun White. Like, go hit the guy, right? Okay. He's setting you up right now. The Deuce Vaughn took the snap and was skipping. Look, right now, he starts skipping. Sets him up, jukes him out. Oh, he's going to juke him out too. Man, I don't know what his NFL future is. He's going to be a very polarizing evaluation. But holy crap, he can go. Literally the same play as earlier, right? They're going to run verts down the middle or down the field. Oklahoma's going to be in cover 3. Teddy Lehman broke this down for you. See how the corner is opening his hips. Ethan Downs is releasing to the flat. There's already a flat player. Danny Stutzman also released to the flat. Adrian Martinez didn't even look the safety off enough this time. But the same play, same result. And by the way, Jordan Kelly gets pressure. Late in the fourth quarter or midway through the fourth quarter, Kansas State's going to get into empty, and they're going to use Ben Sinnott. I'm sorry. They are going to use Ben Sinnott, but they're going to use him this time as a little decoy on an out route. They're going to go scissors in the middle. The safety, you guys don't see it. He bites on the outside, allows the receiver to come open over the middle. 2nd and 12 turns into almost a first down. I think a first down. There it is. Yep. There's the scissors. Really good job by Kansas State. Again, when you run blitz or when you blitz like this against an offense like this, it can be trouble. It's just split zone read. Everybody does everything right. Stutzman's on the back, Stripling's there. But when you blitz, you leave yourself vulnerable because Jalen Redmond's working on the run. Justin Broyles is hat on a hat. You got Billy Bowman's over here working that direction. I don't think this actually was defended that poorly. And Marcus Stripling looks like he's playing hurt, or he did early in the game too, because that's not his same explosiveness. He's got a sleeve on his right leg. Man. Again, it seemed like every call Oklahoma had, it did not work against Kansas State. Here's a great view of it. Split zone read. So Danny Stutzman's blitzing instead of reacting. And yeah, they're just going to let him come. No run help. Guebu's working to the right. Or Guebu's on the line of scrimmage working on the right. Not good. Here's your 3rd and 16. So typically what Alex Grinch would do is he'd have this, one of these guys would be coming up and then circling back, right? So these guys are going this direction, this direction, this direction, blitzing this direction, forcing him one direction, and he's mugging and coming back. I think that was one of these guys I think was supposed to do that, but both of them go, and both of them get touched by the tackle, and it's hard to play QB spy when that happens. Looks like they're in man coverage. I'm not going to act like I know these calls. Just using what Teddy Lehman said and what Brent Venables said post-game. You do miss a holding here, but it doesn't matter. Maybe it's not even holding. It's not. He had his hands inside. It just can't happen. This can't happen. And on the very next play, when you're really tired, just got ran on. You got guards working over to the left. You get hat on a hat. When you play the numbers game right, that's a bad line. You can do a line here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Math doesn't work. Hat on a hat on a hat. Great play by Ethan Downs. Or Danny Stutzman, whichever one it was. But now they're going to go same thing. Guard's going to pull. Too many guys. I mean, just do the same thing again. Just too many guys on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hat on a hat on a hat. And that's how Kansas State slayed Oklahoma in Norman. I don't know where they go from here. I think Oklahoma at this point is looking at a situation over the next 3 weeks, get into the bye week,
then the defense, I think the final 5 games will be something people will enjoy. Their 3-man front didn't work. There's still too much space in coverage. Their even front did not work, stopping the run. Nothing they had worked against the Kansas State offense that isn't as good as they performed against Oklahoma on Saturday. So what is old is new again. Oklahoma is going to have to outscore their next 3 teams. But the good thing for them, the next 3 teams are probably the 3 worst defenses in the Big 12 moving forward. Going to be a great opportunity for the offense to assert their will and allow Oklahoma to continue to put themselves in a position for a Big 12 championship. For everybody has watched this, gotten to this point, thank you so much. I will see you guys later this week whenever I break down the Oklahoma offense against Kansas State.